Hey, welcome to the channel. Thanks for stopping by. Today I review Dragon Ball Super Superhero. I love the Dragon Ball franchise, so when I heard that this movie was coming out, I was so excited. But when I watched it, I wasn't impressed. But first, here's what I liked about it. I appreciated that this movie revolves around characters that aren't Goku and Vegeta. Not that I'm tired of those two, like I can't get enough of them. It's just nice to see other characters that I love get some love. Piccolo and Gohan, they earned their time in the spotlight. It took them a long time to get it, but better late than never. But the main thing I look for in a Dragon Ball movie is dope fight scenes, and this movie provides. While I have issues with the animations, which I'll get into later, during the fight scenes, they looked really cool. Like, these were some of the coolest looking attacks that I've seen in any Dragon Ball movie. There's a part where Gohan is charging up a special beam cannon, and whoever did the animation for that part deserves a raise, because that looks like it was real life energy being charged up. Like, went outside and some dude's about to shoot me with it. That's what it looked like. It was beautiful. And the fighting itself was really cool. I appreciated that lately they've been slowing the fights down more so that we can actually see the moves that the characters use. We can actually see the skill behind it, like they're actual martial artists. Instead of the usual and the sound effects of the fights just put that extra oomph in it. It's just it's so satisfying to listen to. I can hear every punch and kick into a body, and it makes me feel like I'm there in the fight. It was so cool. But it's Dragon Ball. The fights are always going to be on point. This movie was also surprisingly funny. The humor in Dragon Ball is really hit or miss for me, but in this movie there was a lot more sassy comments or just straight up clever lines that caught me off guard and gave me a really good chuckle. Bulma told a joke about Krillin that just killed me, and I feel bad because I love Krillin, but that's the rules of the Dragon Ball fandom. Whenever Yamcha's not around, Krillin becomes the butt of all jokes. That's just the rule. And I gotta bring this up, but I thought Beerus having a crush on Chi was so adorable. At first, when Beerus started making the lovey eyes at her, I was just like, what is happening right now? But then I started seeing a different side of Beerus. He was acting really sweet and shy around Chi, and by gosh, it got to me. It was weird at first, but now I ship them. It's always fun to see the more vulnerable side to such a strong character. I loved it when Vegeta became a family man, and if they keep going on with this route between Beerus and Chi, I'm probably gonna love it too. But that's just me. I love love. Alright, let's get into the cons. And this is gonna hurt me because I love Dragon Ball, and I hate critiquing the things that I love, but it must be done. My first issue with Dragon Ball Super Superhero is that it doesn't use its screen time effectively. The beginning of the movie spent too much time explaining and introducing the main bad guys. Like, we get a quick little recap on who the Red Ribbon Army is and who's running them now, which I was fine with, but then we get into this really long segment about Commander Magenta recruiting Dr. Hito, and it could have been cut by a few minutes. Like, they pretty much explained everything in that quick recap and then just reenacted that recap, and you didn't need to do that. And then even more time is spent on Piccolo investigating the Red Ribbon Army, which, if this was a 2-hour movie, I would totally be okay with. You're trying to tell a compelling story, I appreciate it. But this movie's only an hour and 40 minutes, and this segment's taken precious time away from the other things that I really want to see. Like the father-son relationship between Piccolo and Gohan. Like, who doesn't love these two together? They have such great chemistry. But in this...
Finally, the best father-son duo in all of anime have their own movie. Me, Piccolo, and Gohan. Gohan. Gohan.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
Where were you? There's 30 minutes left in the movie.
I was working. For most of the movie, all of the focus is on Piccolo dealing with the Red Ribbon Army by himself, whereas Gohan doesn't make a true appearance until the final act of the movie, which sucks because I wanted to see them dealing with this problem together. We get no, oh man, Piccolo, these guys are really strong.
Gohan, you need to unleash your potential.
Oh man, I haven't trained in a while, so I don't think I can. Like, we don't get none of that. And by the time those two do get together, the big fight's already happening, so that aspect of their relationship doesn't really get a chance to shine. Heck, the real duo of this movie was Piccolo and Gohan's daughter Pan. Those two were so adorable, just Piccolo taking care of little baby Pan. They grow up so fast. But that should have been Gohan's spot. Gohan's supposed to be one of the main characters of this movie, but he's barely in here. Like, what kind of malarkey, big word of the day, is this? Another issue I had is with the villains Gammas 1 and 2. I thought they looked cool, I thought they fought cool, and I liked that they weren't evil for the sake of evil, but the movie just didn't use them like they should have. They fight Gohan and Piccolo for a little bit, and then once they transform, the Gammas are no longer a threat. And then the movie hints that the Gammas are capable of getting stronger as the fight goes on, so I was like, oh heck yeah, these guys are gonna push our heroes to the limits, this fight's about to be insane! And then the Gammas are like, we're good guys now, fight's over. I was like, that's it? That's all we get out of them? These guys were in all the advertisements and they're only gonna fight our heroes for like 10 minutes? I wanted to see these guys go all out against the heroes. They looked like they had so much potential in them, and that would have been a really cool fight to see. But this movie holds them back for the true villain of this movie, which, considering how that villain is handled, was a huge mistake. The villain I'm talking about is Cell Max, and when he appeared, I felt some type of way about it.
Alex, good news. Your favorite character is gonna be in this movie.
Oh, are you talking about Cell? Heck yeah, that's so exciting.
Yeah, man, it's awesome. Check him out.
What is this? Cell is one of my all-time favorite Dragon Ball villains. When I heard his name spoken in this movie, I got so excited. And then he finally appeared, and it wasn't the Cell that I loved. It was this shell of the character. Only similarities was the slight appearance and the name. Other than that, he was just a giant monster that everyone had to gang up on, and that wasn't really fun. Cell Max being the way he is leads us to Gohan getting a new transformation called Gohan Beast, and this was my reaction to it. That shouldn't be the case. I should be screaming with joy, but the issue is this movie doesn't properly build up to it. First off, Piccolo keeps bringing up Gohan having this potential raging inside of him, but you don't get to see any hints of that because Gohan's not in a lot of the movie. Secondly, he becomes Gohan Beast when he sees Piccolo getting beaten up, which for me is not enough to trigger that transformation, because Gohan's been in the trenches since he was a toddler. He's seen everybody he's ever loved get beaten up, so like, that's nothing new for him. If you want me to feel the weight of this transformation, you want me to feel something similar to when Gohan turned Super Saiyan 2 for the first time, you want me to feel that kind of emotional weight, Piccolo needs to die. But he doesn't. He just gets knocked out. To me, it felt like this was Akira Toriyama's way of just going, fine, here, Gohan has a new form, shut up about him now. That's what it felt like to me. Piccolo also has a new form, but that felt really cheap. Him getting it because he wished to be stronger felt like a cop-out, and it just sullied his character. It did look cool, but it would have been a lot cooler if he actually earned it. I gotta talk about the animation too. I know it said it looked good during the fight scenes, but any other time, it was not good. They were trying to do the mix between 2D and 3D animation, which I really like when it's well done, like they've done it in the past, but in this movie, it needed a lot more work. Have you ever been on the SpongeBob 3D ride? That's what the animation looks like in this movie. The lips don't quite sync with the words, the characters' movements are all like... It was yucky looking. They need to just use the same animation style that they did for the Broly movie, because that was a beautiful movie. You know, I just went on a huge rant about what I didn't like about this movie, but that's just because I love Dragon Ball, and I have high expectations for things that I love. With that being said, this movie isn't god-awful, not by any means, but I just left the theater feeling like I got nothing out of it. I just gotta hope that whenever the next Dragon Ball movie comes out, that it will be much better than this one. Dragon Ball Super Superhero is like one-ply toilet paper. It's soft. Keep the party going and check out my previous review on Prey by clicking right here, or click on the playlist right here to see many more reviews. I'll see you in a bit.